Yo, what up, everybody? Let's get this thing going. Well, let's see. Today, what are we going to talk about? So today, we'll talk about something I did yesterday, as always, in good form. So yesterday, I'm driving home from work, and I'm listening to this Christian radio station, and it's kind of this one guy. He's like just kind of talking about his testimonial, like how he came to Christ and decided to be a Christian and all that kind of stuff, right? And he kind of he's telling his story, and basically he gets to the point where he's like married to this lady. The lady is a devout Christian. He's not. I don't know, it's been 10 years or something like that, and supposedly he's like having affairs and all this other kind of stuff, and of course the wife doesn't know officially, but maybe she does deep down, whatever. And one day, I guess it's all, his life isn't really going in the way he thinks it should, and he's still not really happy, whatever. And so his wife comes up to him and he's like, well, what's wrong? And he's like, I don't know if I want to talk about it. And she's like, well, just tell me about it. And so he decides to just lay it all out on the table and kind of gives the whole story, blah, 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 adulterous relationship or whatever. And he was like, and my expectation was obviously that she's going to freak out and, it's going to be terrible, whatever, reasonable thought, you could say. And all she did was she kind of just looked at him and was just like came over and like put her arms around him and was just like, hey, I forgive you, let's see what we can do. We can work on this. It is what it is. And it was like the way the story kind of came up, it was actually like a very like sincere forgiveness, I guess you could say, that this woman had for her husband. And like there was a legitimate like, well, we can work on this kind of attitude, like very instantaneously. And I think the amount of forgiveness that she was displaying, basically he's like, and that's when I discovered like the forgiveness and the grace of God. And it was an extremely powerful moment for me because it was just like everything was washed away in an instant, and they could start over and rebuild and all that kind of stuff, right? And I was like, that's a pretty good little story or whatever, right? Because that's like a pretty hard thing to do if you think of it. Like most people have a hard time with that or whatever, even like the more wisest and more mastered of us out there or whatever. But I was like, that's a cool story, and it kind of made me wonder, like, I don't know, a couple things came to mind. Like, number one, like this lady, she basically had no judgment of her husband, and just like straight up forgave. Probably embellishing this a little bit, but I only had a little bit of story to go off of, so I was like, wow, that's pretty cool, right? Like, in the Bible it tells us, we're not supposed to judge anyway, so this lady, like, obviously, even in a very difficult situation, was quick to not judge her husband, and was very quick to forgive and all that other kind of stuff, right? And hold up, what's up, buddy? My little neighborhood friend waiting for the bus. So yeah, that's the thing. When I take these laps around the apartment complex, normally I see that kid right before I leave, but today I guess I'm seeing him on my first lap. So what's up? So anyway, the girl is yeah, no judgment, right? That's pretty cool. And then number two, there's like another layer to that where I was kind of like, well, how do you not judge, that, that's kind of where my mind was going. I was like, well, how do you not judge something like that? You got to be something, you got to be really tuned in, or there's something you're going on. And it kind of came to this, and I just kind of came to the concept that, there's a theory out there that this whole like creation is really just an exercise of God experiencing himself, right? And if you subscribe to that, then you can look at it that way holistically and be like, well, there really is no judgment, because everything is just an experience, and everything is just kind of obtaining knowledge and collecting data from field reports, basically, is one way to think of it. And if that's the case, then like that whole concept of don't judge, well, yeah, it makes sense, because if God's trying to experience himself and do all these things, and there's like, let's just say, an infinite amount of possibilities that can occur, then that's just one example, you know, that bad, quote, quote, bad thing. It's just one example of him experiencing himself to, you know, learn what's going on. And you could say that, excuse me, you could say that, I lost my train of thought on that verb. Come on, where was I? Yeah, so he's trying to experience himself or whatever, so you don't judge anybody, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so then it kind of reminded me, too, of this one QHHT session that I think somebody was just, I don't think I watched, somebody explained it to me, but it was basically talking about somebody who was like a hooker, like a paid hooker, and like her whole life mission was really just to come down and like kind of learn something about humanity at a dark level, or maybe just at a, like the real nature of humans, you know, I guess behind closed doors. So like basically the hooker coming down was just to be like experience like that side of humanity and learn stuff about them or whatever, right? So like, whereas most of us would like look at that, you know, let's just say from a worldly view or whatever, and judge them. Oh dude, the kid's back again. So anyway, oh man, this is a good video today, huh? So anyway, where most of us would like judge something like that from a worldly lens, you know, you can't really, because in this divine lens, it's just an experience, and it's important for all of us to know and learn this about, you know, ourselves. So you could say, or God learning about himself, whatever, right? So that's pretty much it. That's my video today. Hope y'all enjoyed it. I guess from a life update, I'm kind of tired still. I haven't really been sleeping very good, so I've made a modification to the program as of late where I am just doing the morning supplements, and then for the lunch and evening dinner ones, I'm still doing some, but like just a very scaled back version of it, you know, like Paramin GB3, TMG basically. I might be forgetting one, selenium. But yeah, I don't know. So I think that Limcomin is stimulating me. So I mean, my schedule is a 2-1-2 for the Limcomin dosage, and the SBF is a 1-0-1. So I'm just doing a 1-2 in the morning and kind of skipping on those other doses right now. See if I can, you know, get back to sleep or whatever. Maybe my something's changing in me. You know what I mean? And I need to like adjust the program. I don't know. I know like Luke talks about how his NAK will flip or whatever, and he can actually like kind of in real time, like without a test, just like flip the supplements. I know some other people do that, so I'm not saying that's me, but maybe, because I am feeling like, you know, very different, and I'm getting this like idea to stop some of the stuff. So anyway, we'll see how it pans out. I'll let y'all know. So yeah, that's all I got. So I'll talk to you later. God bless all y'all.